active surveillance by the FBI. Tonight, what we know about the 24-year-old Tennessee man, reportedly with a good-paying job, a recent college grad, and what he said before in his yearbook. ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas now.
Tonight, the FBI is identifying the suspect as Mohammod Youssuf Abdulazeez, shown here in a mugshot from a drunk driving arrest earlier this year. He is 24 years old and sources say born in Kuwait. Authorities are now investigating if he was inspired by ISIS or another terrorist organization. Sources tell ABC News this man was not under active surveillance by the FBI, a classic so-called lone wolf. The suspect wrote in his 2008 high school yearbook that my name causes national security alerts. What does yours do? Tonight we've learned the 24-year-old was an electrical engineer with a good-paying job, a recent grad of the University of Tennessee. His mom posting photographs of her college graduate son. Also seen here in this amateur fight video. FBI officials are poring over the car used in the suspect's deadly shooting spree, and tonight the FBI and local law enforcement are descending on his home in Hickson, Tennessee, not far from Chattanooga. The concern tonight is high, with Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson announcing that the U.S. government is enhancing the security posture at certain federal facilities out of an abundance of caution. Sources tell ABC News that the public should expect to see an increased presence of law enforcement at federal facilities across the nation.
And Pierre Thomas now with us live from Washington. And Pierre, you were in two separate meetings with the director of the FBI in recent weeks, and this is precisely what he feared?
Exactly, David. Last week, he was blunt, warning emphatically that ISIS poses an active and ongoing threat, and he told Congress he could not guarantee that every plot would be stopped. What happened today was very much the type of scenario he was worried about. We don't yet know if this was an ISIS-inspired attack, but I can certainly tell you this was exactly what he was worried about. David?
Pierre Thomas, thank you. And Pierre, as you know, President Obama late today in the Oval Office talking about his briefing from the FBI on this, and here's what the president had to say.
I just received a briefing from FBI Director Comey as well as my White House team about the tragic shooting that took place in Chattanooga today. We don't know yet all the details. We know that what appears to be a lone gunman carried out these attacks. We've identified a name, and at this point, a full investigation is taking place. The FBI will be in the lead, working closely with local law enforcement. My main message right now is obviously the deepest sympathies of the American people to the 4 Marines that have been killed. It is a heartbreaking circumstance for these individuals who have served our country with great valor to be killed in this fashion.
The president late today in the Oval Office asking for those prayers for the families. I want to get to ABC's chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross, and we cannot underscore tonight that there is no connection to ISIS so far, but the real concern given the propaganda and the messages as recently as this weekend, Brian.
Exactly right, David. As recently as this last weekend and going back a year, ISIS has been urging its followers in the U.S. to attack uniformed police and military in this country. And ISIS has actually posted the photos and home addresses of more than 100 active duty soldiers saying, "What are you waiting for? Kill them in their own land." This year alone, the FBI says it has made arrests in at least 5 plots aimed at domestic military facilities. Again, it's not known tonight whether today's attack was yet another ISIS-inspired plot, but if so, it would appear to be the first time that ISIS has been able to pull it off, David.
But, Brian, you've reported here that the Pentagon has warned families of potential attacks like these, but there are so many of these recruiting centers all over the country. How do you secure them?
Absolutely. There are some 5,000 recruitment centers across the country in shopping malls and commercial locations that can't really be put under 24-hour guard. They are very soft targets, David.
Hi, this is Lazy Reporter, reporting from Chattanooga. Today's news is Chattanooga shooting rampage, suspect named but motive for killings at U.S. military facilities unknown. A gunman unleashed a barrage of fire at a recruiting center and another U.S. military site a few miles apart in Chattanooga on Thursday, killing at least 4 Marines before he was shot to death by police, and sending service members scrambling for cover as bullets smashed through the windows. Federal authorities said they were investigating the possibility it was an act of terrorism, but have no evidence yet that anyone but a lone gunman was involved. They also said there was no indication that the general public was in danger. The FBI has taken charge of the case. Authorities identified the gunman as Kuwait-born Mohammod Youssuf Abdulazeez, 24, of Hickson, Tennessee, though the spelling of his first name was in dispute, with federal officials and records giving at least 4 variations. For more news, subscribe.